Ladies and gentlemen, Shaw TV's J.Williams with you here at Cinematheque with longtime friend of the show, Dave Barber, longtime good time buddy. Pound it. Boom! Dave's here to tell us what's coming up in the next little while at Cinematheque. Dave, what do you got for us?
We got two films opening this weekend, both terrific documentaries. Family Portrait in Black and White. It's the story of a single mother in Ukraine who has adopted 27 kids. That's basically the story of how she looks after these kids, and there's lots of great scenes with her interacting with them. Very, very honest portrait.
The film Family Portraits in Black and White is in many ways a portrait of a very unique woman. She lives in Ukraine, in a small town, and she probably is the only person in Ukraine who has no racial prejudice against mixed-race children.
Ну какая разница, это же ребенок, черный, белый, узкоглазый. Я не могу судить или как-то комментировать ихних родителей. Может быть, даже в какой-то степени я им благодарна, я бы никогда не могла бы иметь таких детей. Бог им судья в этом случае, и все.
The first black person came to Soviet Union in 1957, and after that, the first mixed-race children started to appear at the maternity wards. And most of these children were left at the maternity wards because they were the result of, in most cases, one-night stands. And the women didn't have the courage to raise a mixed-race child only because everybody would be pointing fingers at them and calling them bad names.
Очень жалко, потому что они как-то отстранены от общества. Дети не очень хотят с ними играть.
И я считаю, что при слиянии вот белого человека и какого-то унтерменшена родится просто что-то среднее, что-то непонятное. Это будет просто ребенок-дебил.
Every society in any country consists of people who are uneducated and educated. So among an educated part of Ukrainian society, definitely the racism is rare and they consider it shameful.
The second film is Black Power Mixtape, 1967 to 1975. This is incredible footage that was shot by Swedish journalists in the late 60s, sat in archives for many, many years. A filmmaker discovered this footage, put it back together, re-interviewed some contemporary black figures in the United States, and this is unbelievable footage with incredible music of a time of turmoil, such as the death of Martin Luther King, the riots across the United States, and it resonates very strongly in today with cases such as the George Zimmerman case. And so, again, this footage hasn't been seen for 30 years. It's quite incredible.
When someone asks me about violence, I just find it incredible because what it means is that the person who's asking that question has absolutely no idea what black people have gone through, what black people have experienced in this country.
In the 1960s and 70s, Swedish filmmakers arrived in America to explore the Black Power movement, which the U.S. media saw as a violent threat.
We're making a revolution by educating the people to the fact that they should arm themselves for self-defense.
If any racist dog policemen attack us, we will defend ourselves because we are bent on surviving.
30 years later, in the cellar of a Swedish television station, an amazing collection of unseen interviews was discovered with some of the greatest revolutionary minds in modern history.
There wouldn't be an America if it wasn't for black people. We hold America to our bosom.
When you get tired enough, it's when you want to sacrifice everything.
Get ridiculed and discriminated and be less than a man.
It's a question of dignity and decency.
My husband didn't make enough money because he was Negro.
We were moved and motivated and charged up by people who had already made a commitment to bring about change.
Dr. King is a great man and he's very patient. Unfortunately, I am from a younger generation. I am not as patient, nor am I as merciful.
Black is beautiful, but black isn't power. Knowledge is power.
In this bankrupt country, there is a point where caution ends and cowardice begins.
The community was flooded with drugs. Hoover and the FBI, and they made sure that the drugs were an influence.
Anybody can die nobly for a cause. The sign of maturity is to live day by day for that cause.
We have to document our history. If we're going to tell the story, let's tell the story right.
The Black Power Mixtape, 1967 to 1975, featuring Erykah Badu, Harry Belafonte, Stokely Carmichael, Eldridge Cleaver, Kathleen Cleaver, Angela Davis, Talib Kweli, Huey P. Newton, Bobby Seale, and Amir Questlove Thompson.
When I've heard a little bit about this film, and apparently it surprised even some of the people that were involved in the movement at the time that this footage actually exists because it just disappeared.
Oh yeah, and the incredible thing about it is it's very, very honest portraits of these figures of a time in the late 60s when there was a lot of turmoil in the United States. So, you know, people like Stokely Carmichael, Eldridge Cleaver, Angela Davis, and you get a real insight into sort of the changing things going on in the United States at the time.
Great. Well, there you have it. That's coming up in the next little while at Cinematheque. Thanks for talking with us today, Dave.
Yeah.
For Shaw TV, I'm J.Williams.